If you're interested in the outback and a more remote experience, while still getting to see some of Australia's iconic attractions, you'll enjoy this route, Adelaide to Darwin. At Gallivanting Oz, we use a number of suppliers to match the best vehicle to your needs, and you do not pay any extra to deal with us than if you went straight to our supplier. However, you will benefit from our service, the greater variety of vehicle options, and our experience. And it's that experience we would like to share with you today, travelling between Adelaide and Darwin. It's roughly a 3,500 kilometre trip from Adelaide to Darwin, visiting the iconic Uluru, and it really doesn't matter which direction you travel. The time of year you travel, though, is important. As you'll be travelling the northern third of Australia, it is important to understand the seasons and the best time to experience. This area is best visited in what is known as the dry season, which is roughly May to September, and it's through the winter months. The wet season, which is predominantly summer, is much hotter, more humid, and there are some roads in the northern third of the country which may become impassable. When travelling in the dry season, so that's May to September, you will find that while in the centre of Australia it can be cool at night time, but the daytime temperatures are much more bearable. We'd recommend an absolute minimum of 14 days for this trip, but most of our retired clients take around 21 to 28 days to experience this route. Some also include this iconic route as part of a circuit via Broome and Perth and back to Adelaide. Most would allow about 3 months for something like that. To experience this route, you can pick up your camper in Adelaide or Darwin, or for those with less time available, we also have depots in Alice Springs. You'll find helpful information centres along your route, and generally there's no need to book campsites in advance, except around Darwin. Darwin can be very busy in the dry season, so great even if you can book a few days ahead to avoid disappointment. Rates for camping can vary from $0 per night to about 45 Australian for a powered site in a more popular location on average. There's plenty of freedom camping, which is your free and low-cost camping along this route. Some days there'll be longer kilometres that you need to drive, and you'll see a number of rest areas that allow overnight parking, and that's perfect while you're travelling in a self-contained camper. Often with these you'll see an area in behind the rest area where you can be further away from the highway. The Camps Australia Wide Guide lets you know the locations of these free and low-cost camps, including national parks. You'll also find some of the lower-cost commercial camps, which are less than Australian $22 for 2 adults and a powered site. The Stuart Highway is a 2-laned sealed highway, and while it does go through very remote parts of Australia, you will see roadhouses, which is where you can get your fuel, basic grocery items, and some also have an adjacent campground, if you preferred a powered site. During some sections, there will be longer distances between the roadhouses and where you can get fuel. However, there is no need to carry extra fuel inside your vehicle when travelling this road. In remote areas, the distance to the next fuel station is also signposted. A 2-wheel drive camper or motorhome is perfect for this trip, with it being a sealed road to most of the iconic areas. For those a little more adventurous, you may consider hiring a 4-wheel drive camper, which will give you greater flexibility when travelling this area, although on the downside, these don't have an onboard toilet. To give you an idea of what you might see along this iconic route, we have shown an overview of some of our favourite highlights, starting in Adelaide. Enjoy Adelaide with maybe a bit of style with wineries and gourmet food. Heading north up the Stuart Highway, experience Cooper Pedy. This is where they mine for opals and famous for its underground houses. Recommend the Old Times Mine Tour. Gives you a good taste of living underground and also the mining aspect. Allow at least a week around the Red Centre as there is a lot to see. The turn-off to Uluru is about 300 km south of Alice Springs, with a further 230 km drive to see Uluru. Nearby you have Katajuda, which is accessible by a sealed road. Make sure you visit Kings Canyon. We recommend getting up early and enjoying the rim walk. Very rewarding and picturesque. Aim to be walking by sunrise. Don't forget about visiting both the west and east MacDonnell Ranges near Alice Springs. There's a number of national park camping areas, walks to see stunning land formations including gorges, canyons and gaps, plus some places to swim. Enjoy the culture around Alice Springs, with this also being a good place to pick up some Aboriginal art. Heading north, you can stretch your legs at the Devil's Marbles. You'll also continue to see a number of rest areas that allow overnight camping. Perfect if you enjoy a 1,000-star accommodation. For a fun night, stop at the popular Outback pub at Daily Waters, which has an adjacent campground. Relax in the thermal springs at Mataranka. There's 2 separate springs, enjoy both at no cost. Katherine is also a great place to stock up on provisions and explore the nearby Nitmiluk National Park, which is home to the famous Katherine Gorge. For those looking to spend a night at a working cattle station, there's camping available at Mount Bundy Station at the Adelaide River. World Heritage Kakadu National Park is a must-see. It's tropical and lush in some places and red and rocky in others, and also a great opportunity to learn more about the Aboriginal culture. Plus both commercial and national park style camping available. One of our favourite national parks is on the other side of the Stuart Highway, and it's the beautiful Litchfield National Park. Lots to see, plus swimming opportunities in the dry season. In both these parks there are some 4-wheel drive tracks as well, however plenty is accessible by 2-wheel drive camper. We'd recommend visiting both of these national parks. You'll see plenty of wildlife along this route, like crocodiles, which are in the top third of Australia, and plenty of other wildlife too. This route also gives you a great opportunity to learn about the Aboriginal culture, particularly in some of the well set up centres both around Uluru and the Kakadu National Parks. Multicultural Darwin has a lot to offer. Enjoy the Mendel Sunset Markets, they're best on a Thursday, smaller on a Sunday, and there's evidence of the World War II history. Take your time to explore the wetlands in the Northern Territory as well. Of course there's plenty more to see, but this gives you a good idea on some of the key areas along this route. You'll also see there's plenty of other travellers enjoying this route just like you. We look forward to speaking to you further if you're interested in camper hire in Australia and travelling this iconic route from Adelaide to Darwin. For a personalised pack of information, go to our website, send us an email or give us a call, which will include rates for the time period you're thinking of travelling. We have a range of vehicle options which are sure to suit your needs. Remember, you don't pay any extra to deal with us than going straight to our suppliers, however you will benefit from our service, experience and greater variety of vehicle options. Enjoy your road trip from Adelaide to Darwin.